There's a point in menopause where your body just stops feeling like a safe place to be. And no one really explains this part. You stop sleeping. Your body feels unfamiliar. Your emotions shift. Your weight changes. And even on hormone replacement therapy, you can feel worse before you feel better. No one talks about this phase. One minute you think you finally have things figured out. Your sleep is stable. Your energy is better. Your weight feels manageable. And then suddenly, your body changes again, which is exactly what happened to me. About 5 years ago, progesterone and Armour thyroid changed my life. My sleep came back. My weight dropped. My energy stabilized. I felt clear. I felt regulated. I felt like I was back in my body again. And I thought, okay, I've got this. I understand my body. I know what works. And then menopause shifted everything again. For me, the signal was really clear. I just stopped sleeping. Not a bad night here or there. Not stress. Not something I could explain away. I wasn't sleeping more than 4 to 5 hours a night for 2 months. And if you've ever been there, you know that's not sustainable. But more than that, I didn't feel like I was in my body anymore because sleep had been something I already solved. Progesterone had supported that. My system felt regulated. And then it didn't. That was the moment I knew something had shifted again. As I moved fully into menopause, my estradiol dropped out. And what had worked before wasn't the full picture anymore. Not wrong, just not complete. So I started estradiol. And if I'm being honest, I expected to feel better pretty quickly. But what I experienced instead was something I wasn't prepared for. I started sleeping a little better, maybe around 6 hours. But that improvement happened slowly over 2 months. What I wasn't prepared for was that my body had to integrate the estradiol into my current operating system. It honestly felt like my body was going through a cycle again. I got bloated. My weight jumped up about 5 pounds almost immediately. And I felt more emotional at times. There was this ramp up phase for about a month, followed by a gradual settling over the next month. But 6 hours of sleep isn't my normal range. So I increased to a higher dose of estradiol. And this is where it became even more unexpected. I thought, okay, maybe another 2 months and I'll feel like myself again. That wasn't the case. Far from it, actually. During the first 3 months at a higher dose, my body actually felt like it was getting more off track. Now, my sleep started to improve slowly, and it got back to between 7 and 8 hours. But everything else felt so unsettled. The bloated feeling came back, and this time it stayed. My weight started to creep up again, and this time it was closer to 10 pounds. I felt a thickening through my waistline, more fatigue, low motivation, more emotional lows than highs. I ended up in the ER with a cyst on my face that blew up and got infected. And it took close to 4 more months on top of the previous 2 before my body started regulating again. That's a long time when you're in it. No one tells you about this phase. Now that HRT is becoming more common for women moving through perimenopause or menopause, I started asking other women what their experience has been like. Not from a place of comparison, but from a place of understanding what's actually happening in the body. And guess what? Same story, different details, same pattern. So if you're in it right now, this is the part where it's really easy to want to stop. I felt that too. But I want you to hit pause before you decide anything and hear me out. Your body is calibrating, and that takes time. Estradiol enters the system, and it has to begin working with your body where it is. There's an expansion that happens across every level: physical, emotional, mental, even spiritual. That can feel like everything is off. But as your body starts to recognize that there's a constant supply, it begins to loosen its grip. It's like when you stop eating because you want to lose weight. And what happens is your body holds on to that last morsel of food, not knowing when it's going to get more. And it slows your metabolism down and stores the fat. Similarly, with the estradiol, it first influxes your system, and it hasn't had it regularly in a long time. It kind of holds on to it. And then as it starts receiving more and more consistently, it starts to work within the system. So for me, what started to change, the cystic acne I had before, gone, which told me something was shifting in the right direction. But I still had excessive oil in my face. My body felt heavier, almost thick. My weight started creeping up. My sleep wasn't consistent. And I remember thinking, what is happening? Is this working? Do I need to change something? Do I need to stop? And this is the part no one really talks about. Because what I'm seeing and what I've experienced is this. Women start HRT, especially estradiol, and they expect relief. They expect to feel better, more stable, more like themselves. And when they don't, when they feel bloated or off, or their sleep shifts, or their body feels unfamiliar, the assumption is something is wrong. This isn't working. But what if that's not actually what's happening? What if your body isn't failing? What if it's recalibrating? Hormones don't just change how you feel. They change how your body functions, how your tissues respond, how your systems communicate. And that doesn't happen overnight. Your body doesn't just receive estradiol. It has to learn how to work with it again. And that process can look like fluctuations, fluid shifts, changes in sleep, changes in skin. Not because something is wrong, but because something is adjusting. And even with that, it hasn't been linear. There was a point where I thought I had found the right dose. And then within a couple months, my body told me it wasn't enough. So I had to adjust and essentially go through that recalibration again. And even now, months later, I'm still not fully back to what I would consider my baseline. And if something has been off or shifting for years, this isn't a one-time adjustment. So why would I think it would resolve in a few weeks? And this is where it connects to something I talk about all the time: nervous system safety. And building a body that can hold change. Because when the body feels safe, change can actually hold. It can integrate. It can stay. But here's what I wasn't fully prepared for. During menopause, that safety isn't always consistent. The very thing you built can feel like it's shifting underneath you. There are moments when I feel grounded, clear, connected. And then there are moments where my body feels so off, unsettled, harder to read. And it doesn't mean I didn't do the work. It means the body is changing again. And when your body is changing, your capacity can feel like it's changing too. The container you've built to hold your life, your emotions, your decisions, your energy, can feel less stable at times. And that's the part that can feel really disorienting. Because you think, I've done this work. I know how to regulate. I know how to hold myself. Why does this feel different? The answer isn't that you've lost it. It's that your body is asking you to meet it again at a different level. This is where it gets hard. This is where most women question whether they should even continue. Because mentally, you feel like, I am doing everything right. I'm addressing it. I'm taking care of myself. Why don't I feel better yet? And emotionally, you're in this in-between space where you're not where you were before, but you're not settled either. And that space can feel really uncomfortable, frustrating, confusing even a little defeating. Because no one told you that part. No one told you that things can look like they're not working while your body is actually shifting in the right direction. And this is where I want to say something that I think matters. When I first started progesterone, it supported my sleep in a way that nothing else did. It changed everything for me. And what I've seen and experienced is that sleep is often treated with medication. Instead of asking, is there something missing hormonally, perhaps? That disconnect matters. Because when we treat the symptom without understanding the system, we miss what the body is actually asking for. And I'm not saying one approach is right or wrong, but I am saying there's more happening in the body than we're often told. In a conventional model, progesterone is often prescribed around 100 milligrams to protect the uterine lining. But what's often missed are the broader systemic effects that higher therapeutic ranges of progesterone, supporting mood, relaxation, sleep quality, and overall nervous system regulation. For me, that opened a different way of looking at it. It made me start asking different questions about what my body actually needed. It made me start doing my own research, not to override my practitioner, but to understand my body well enough to have an informed conversation, to come in with awareness, to ask better questions, and feel confident saying, this is what I'm noticing, and this is what I think my body might need. Not from a place of control, but from partnership. Because when you understand your body, you don't just receive care, you participate in it. What I've learned through this process is this. You don't just start something and arrive. Your body continues to change. And because of that, you have to stay in a relationship with it. That means awareness. Not just how you feel, but noticing patterns, tracking changes. And yes, using blood work as a tool. Super important. Not to chase numbers, but to understand what your body is doing, how it's using what you're giving it. Because being in range and actually feeling well are not always the same thing. And where you sit within that range can matter too. I've personally noticed and heard from many women that being in the upper third of the range often feels most optimal in the body. I know that's true for me. So the shift becomes this. Safety isn't something you achieve once. It's something you rebuild as your body changes, as different situations arise. Balance isn't something you hit once. It's something you stay in relationship with. You know how they say balance is never right in the middle? It's sort of constantly fluctuating, making sure nothing drops out. It's the same as this. What worked before wasn't wrong. It's just no longer complete for where your body is now. The goal is still to help the body return to balance. But maybe the deeper work is learning how to feel safe inside of it while it changes. Because your body isn't broken. It's not failing you. It's shifting. And the more you understand that, the more you can stay with it instead of fighting it. And maybe that's the real work. Learning how to be in a body that's changing and still feel at home inside of it. Our shift has ended for today.